Hello there, my beautiful souls. I hope you're doing absolutely amazing today. But as you can see, we're beginning with three pre-pulled, Find Your Happy Oracle cards. And so as you can see in the center being your main overall energy, we have everything happens for a reason. I don't know if you remember, if you've been with me for a while, you might be fairly new, but I do have those words tattooed on my chest because they are words to live by. And so I feel like this day reminds us of this very clearly. Quite often, every little thing along your purposeful path throughout this very purposeful day period happens for a reason, if not multiple. But on the left-hand side, there's one, if not multiple, aspects of your current day reality that are leaving you feeling and maybe being reminded by spirit or otherwise that you deserve better. You know, if it's not actually vocalizing it, there's a sense of your movement, your energy, speaking very clearly, very loudly at this time. And this not being the only way, but you're at the very least energetically, I want to say kind of screaming, I deserve better. And we're hearing you, we're digesting what you're saying. It doesn't feel like a new feeling for you, even if it was more so past situations, past realities for you. But you get the point. You do deserve better, and it's on its way. And you're even as well on your way to it in a sense, moving forward. But we need to make the best out of what's at hand because it does hold great value, benefits, and purpose, even with the imperfections and the cons that seem to be pointed out to you even recently, before this day period, way too often, and so shifting onto the right hand side of the board, Spirit's also saying it's a day where you need to say this to yourself. You need to remind yourself of this. I don't overthink my current situation because it is what it is, and that reminds you, possibly of where your control lies. You can't control the way other people work and or live. You can't control, the energy per se in a situation, even though I feel your way of being and energy and whatnot does set the tone and adjust the energy to an extent at times. But that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? It's about where your control lies and it being certain imperfections, once again, and annoyances or things that don't really completely affect you positively all the time. These things don't feel to be within your control, but it doesn't mean you overthink or overcomplicate your current day reality or current day situation, feeling to be what you are feeling more than ever that you deserve better in regards to. But again, keeping in mind, everything's happening for a reason. Some of you might be experiencing a bit of flashing back to past chaos. This may help you regain a realistic, positive perspective, kind of saying in a sense from spirit, you have dealt with a hell of a lot worse. You're better off where you are than where you once were. You're better off than where you could be, There's a lot to be grateful for. In the first, let's not say the first, because it was one of the many attempts to get this reading done. But in one of them, I completed the entire recording. And one of the main cards was gratitude is basically the life force of everything, I think was the wording. And it's still feeling very applicable, very on point for this energy period for us, because I'm feeling to be within this collective as well. Yeah, I get it. Most readers don't read for themselves or whatever. I tend to find myself in certain collectives. But I do feel that, where was I going with that? I do feel as if, this day is going to change your life for the better is what I'm hearing. But wow, I lost that one. But yeah, let's pull some tarot. The Fool card over here, because you're thinking about some sort of leap of faith for the future as I struggle now. And that seems to be what you feel would be better in comparison to what's at hand. And then, Spirit's saying, once again, that the past was worse than what's at hand and you're better off than where you could be. But then I feel you kind of taking that and twisting it into well, yeah, I upgraded from where I was, and so I'm better off now, but then I still deserve better, and what's ahead that I want and or need would be then again another sense of an upgrade. We get that. But the point is that we need to embrace and to be grateful for and utilize what's at hand to our full advantage instead of allowing for it to be created to even become more of a burden or a sense of heaviness, right? Difficulty is what I'm hearing. Remembering all the meanwhile, and I say it so often on this channel, you manifest. You're a manifester. So we don't want to be creating more or new forms of this difficulty, negativity. You get it. You get the point. Moving right along. There's something about quotes, quotations. There's something about you being, okay, or maybe you're actually the one doing the paraphrasing is what I'm getting. But we're also going to push you to put in a set of headphones at a certain point for some. And this is going to be a point of great info to gain and or just a kind of a change of tune. I'm feeling like maybe that's to put in some music or something. But the Devil card, interesting. So this is reiterating that there are certain maybe toxicities, again, imperfections, difficulties within what's at hand. And so then they're saying that that should not give you the go-ahead or the justification to then overthink, to overcomplicate, to relive or rethink things, you know, because it feels like this collective has the bad habit or the old habit of reliving things in your mind, well, even well after the fact, and maybe even assuming, kind of living the potential outcome of things out in your head, mind, heart, and soul. Okay. And so remember, you're not the only one that does this. We are all connected within this collective. But as my voice struggles, it seems to be a day where, again, these are being pointed out to you way too often. But do remember all the meanwhile, like we've been saying many times, everything does happen for a reason. But it needs to be a day full of gratitude. Do what you can, do what you know works best for you. Just do it. If that means that you're going to then be in a more grateful, appreciative state of being, because you're being pushed to remember or maybe recognize otherwise that, yeah, okay, this devil energy in some way, shape, or form, probably multiple, exists outside of you, you know, causing all of these positive reminders to come through. But you could easily be creating this devil energy by getting into a funk, or I'm seeing the Five of Cups, maybe, you know, expecting the worst, or, you know, again, living out the potential of what could take place moving forward within that commitment or whatever it may be. And then you manifest an outcome for the upcoming days that you really shouldn't have, you know? You don't want that to come to be, but you were just expecting it, you know, manifesting it, right? In a negative way. So let's channel our mind, heart, soul, our expectations, our attitude towards what we wish to see more of moving forward instead of what we wish to see less of or we don't want to kind of repeat or come to be again, okay? And so this day does remind you that in that way and several other ways, many ways, you are in the driver's seat. But I'm going to remind you in a general sense, drink a lot of water. You can probably hear it and sense it, but I'm getting very dehydrated right now within this reading. And so I feel like there's a need to protect your health, your voice, even your energy at certain other points. And there's something else about you treasuring the silence, something about you treasuring these simple energetic moments when things aren't too chaotic energetically. And they're saying what lies ahead, again, is an upgrade. It's better. You know, you deserve it. And it will bring you more of the things that you're prioritizing, valuing the most at this time and longing for. All right? So just remember that you are where you are for many reasons. What does hold imperfections and difficulty, as well does hold benefit and value for you. Everything, my friend, happens for a reason. You will achieve and receive and get to better in the future. But for now, don't overthink your current situation. And just remember again, it's all going to work out in your favor. All right? So I hope this was truly helpful. Love and light, my friends.